Sometimes you gotta say la, yeah. Don't speak for a minute, close your eyes, let it be and say la, yeah. It ain't all about what you sing, it's the moments in between. Sometimes you gotta say la, and take.
Hey everybody, it's Bleu Do'zia with Theater Talk, and we are with episode 5, the cast of The Dinner Party. Well, some of the cast members, which is one of Neil Simon's hidden jewels of a script. As most people know, I am not the biggest Neil Simon fan, but this script caught my eye and caught my attention. There's a lot of humor in it, along with some heartwarming moments where we're discussing relationships and love and breakup and making up and all the intricate and complex ways that relationships exist. So I am so happy to introduce Martin Kuhn, Ryan Greene, and Desirae Zentz, who are 3 of the 6 that are in the cast of The Dinner Party, which opens on Thursday, November 20th. 2025. And we are going to give you an opportunity to meet each and every single one of them. So, Desirae, why don't you start with your introduction, who you are, and what character you play?
Hi, my name's Desirae. I play Mariette Laveau in The Dinner Party.
Name's Ryan Greene, and my character is Andre Beauville.
Martin?
And I am Martin Kuhn, and my character is Albert Dunay.
Very nice. So thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to be talking about The Dinner Party. But first, I would like to know, how did each of you get involved with this script?
Well,
I got tricked into it.
you got. No, I feel like I'm the luckiest one because this was totally an impulse move on my part. The Dinner Party is the first Selah play I've been in, and the first play I've been in like 40 years. And I went to an open audition and walked in, and there were multiple plays that were being cast at that audition. And I was just drawn to The Dinner Party because, I don't know, it seemed like a play where an older white guy could have some fun. It did. And it is.
I went and also did an impulse reading and did it just to kind of support Desirae, who's also in the play, and found that I actually really, really love theater life. Love it. Love it. Love it.
And I'm a big fan of Selah Theater, so whenever the schedule opens up opportunities to participate, I just want to jump on it. So I saw that there was an audition, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I convinced my daughter and Ryan to join me.
That's so awesome. So cool. So I know you've been asked this before a few times, but just tell us a little bit about what this play is actually all about. I know the advertisement has been, 6 peoples, 3 couples, blah, blah, blah. But from your perspective, what is this play really about?
I would say the moments between couples that people know are real but don't talk about.
Mm.
The real moments, the snide moments, the loving moments, the endearing moments, the spiteful moments, the embarrassing moments, all of them.
I love it. Kind of like a mountain of emotions and journeys that couples go on.
Absolutely. Yes. Yep.
So I think it's interesting because a lot of folks aren't used to Selah doing a whole lot of comedies. So but this one, I feel like during the rehearsal process, we have yet to get through a rehearsal without busting out into laughter.
That's true. Totally.
In some form or fashion. And
Yep.
it's really cool because it's in the midst of discovering who these characters are and humanizing them, right? So even though we're not given a lot of background about each of these characters, we're just kind of given who they are in this moment of their lives together. So what was your process of getting into character for all of these divorcees?
Well, I was just going to add on to what you had just said, that I think as a cast, we've all done a really good job at character development and really like dove into our own characters as well as each other's and why they react a certain way and why they're behaving. Which I have loved the organic discussions that have just, been created between us. And for my character specifically, I've really enjoyed her depth. I'm like a really happy-go-lucky person, or sadness, but I don't really touch into anger much in my life. So it's been really cool for me to play a character who she definitely has sadness within her, but she has a lot of anger too, that she's, discovering or letting out. And it's been really cool to just dive into that and experience what that's like for somebody else.
It's interesting listening to your answers because they're really good. But I think what I figured out about Albert is that Albert really doesn't know Albert.
Mm.
He seems to want to impress or have an impact on others around him, and he really wants to show himself to others to be taken seriously, but he doesn't have self-knowledge. I don't think he understands how he comes across to other people. So Blue's question was interesting, like, how did I figure out who my character is? Honestly, I think I'm discovering him every time we have a rehearsal because I see how he's reflected in the other characters. Like
Yes.
how he interplays off the other characters is teaching me who he is and allows me to kind of own him a little more, if that makes any sense. That was kind of a head trippy answer, but
No, I love that. And I think
Yeah.
it says a lot about our cast too. I think we're all working really well together.
Yeah, after each rehearsal, it's like each of our scenes or our moments with each other become more and more real too.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's, I think, I always say comedies are harder than dramas. And I say that because I feel that it's really hard to make an audience laugh. You have a collective group of people who are coming together that may not have the same kind of humor. And so for an actor to be able to get that jab in or that line in that makes an audience, belly laugh or just chuckle or whatever it may be together, that's a really hard task and job to accomplish.
Yeah.
So with that being said, why do you think Neil Simon made such a, because divorce is even still taboo in our society, right?
Yeah.
So why do you think he used comedy as the medium tool to get this message or this play across?
I have a thought on that. So when I think of Neil Simon, I think of like 70s television. And I think of MASH. And when I was a kid, I was always fascinated how that show could take you into the horrors of war in Korea, but you would be laughing your fanny off while you're there. And I think it's an interesting style to deal with really painful, horrible things, but to do it through humor. It's almost like it creates a safe distance between you and whatever the source of the pain is.
Wow.
Anyway, that's kind of my read on it.
Especially the depth of the emotions that relationships go through and learning to make, light or find joy in some of the things anyways, you know what I mean?
I also wonder if Neil Simon, knowing about his personal life, if this was almost like some catharsis for him, like in writing this. He had a lot of marriages, he had heartbreak himself. I know me as a writer myself, like when I write my poetry, I'm often working through an emotion and getting it out. So I'm almost wondering if Neil Simon was working through some of his own trauma or life through his work.
At Selah Theatre, I love taking acting classes in the fall, winter, spring, and loads of camp choices in the summer. All classes, camps, and workshops are open to youth willing to learn the craft of theater, music theater, art, and production. To learn more about these awesome opportunities, check out Selah Theater's website at selahtheatreproject.org.
Are you ready for some tea? Because we are. Sip and Savor is back with episode 6, Caffeine and Carols, on December 18th at Espresso Bar and Cafe at 6 p.m. Tickets are $10 per person, or you can help us feed the Valley Theater Challenge with bringing a non-perishable item for free admission. You can find tickets at www.selahtheatreproject.org/sip-savor. As actors, we all are aware that, art imitates life, right? So it would be interesting to, if I could reach into Neil Simon's brain, to see if that is the truth, if that was part of his healing from divorces, if that was part of his journey of discovering who he was as a man in these relationships. Because he does play all sides, where each character, you see the good in each one, but you also see the harshness of each character as well. So if he was really trying to dig deep to play devil's advocate even within his own relationships, that always seems to be Neil Simon's case when it comes to, not harder topics, but, topics that people don't really talk about or deal with, and switching it and making it a comedic effect. Because then I think when people can laugh at themselves, when they see themselves represented, then maybe they'll be even more comfortable in having a conversation that maybe they didn't think they needed to have in the first place.
It makes me hope that when people come to see our show, maybe if they are having, problems in their relationship, that they walk away maybe being able to bring something up in a lighthearted way, or just open up the dialogue after watching all the dialogue we have together.
Or maybe even find a little more gratitude in what they do have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, for sure
100%.
that they're not like the people in this show.
Yeah, right.
It's like they say, if you had all your if everyone threw their problems into the middle of the floor, everyone would go and rush to grab their own back. Watching this show, you're like, yeah, no, I'm glad that
I'm good. Blue, if I can just throw this out too, you asked about doing comedy. I think you managed to assemble a cast of people who are genuinely funny people. Like, just like, on our own, I mean, in the spaces around rehearsals, just sitting around, there's also a lot of laughter there too. Everybody kind of has sort of a quirky sense of humor that they're bringing in there. So I think there's just this natural thing that's happening too, where people are just bringing their own weird sense of humor into their characters, and they play well off of each other.
Well, each character is very eccentric, on their own being. There's not one character in the show that is identical, which is really, really hard to accomplish, especially for such a small cast. So they're very defined, but not defined in a way where there's no mystery to them. So you sort of discover over the course of the play the mystery of each character. But Ryan, I'm going to shoot at you first. For your character, Andre, what is his best quality?
His best quality?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. His best quality. I mean, he's witty. I would say that. I mean, he's definitely witty. He's very intelligent. You can tell he's kind of worldly even. I don't know. His best quality. He's very perceptive of others' flaws.
He can read a room very well.
Yes. Yes, he can actually.
All right, how about Mariette?
I think her best quality is her willingness to still be vulnerable.
Could that be because she's a writer herself?
Yeah, I can see that. But I see herself like, despite being so hurt and despite also being angry, I think she still wants love, And so she's willing to risk that and be vulnerable, even though oftentimes it gets slapped in her face when she does. I think it's a brave quality to have.
All right, how about Albert?
Albert, I would say his best quality is loyalty, maybe. You know, he's like that puppy dog who just wants to kind of be loyal to his owner. There's also something I think maybe childlike about Albert. It's kind of this naivete.
Innocent.
Yeah, I guess that's a better word for it. He's got this kind of childlike innocence, and he's kind of just a mess, But I think he's a loyal mess.
He is a loyal mess.
Yeah.
He has a bit of toxic behavior behind him too.
Yeah.
Well, the whole stalking, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking out for her. I don't know what you're
So each of you have a partner, a counterpart. So Ryan, your counterpart is Marina, who is playing the role of Gabrielle. And Mariette's counterpart is Claude, who's played by Jacob Reed, and then Doa Salah is playing Yvonne, who is the counterpart of Albert. If each of you had to describe your character's partner, how would you describe them?
Extravagant.
Gabrielle is extravagant. Explain.
Oh my God, she's very narcissistic, very full of herself.
Yeah.
Delusional.
But I think she's also got a really kind of toxic loyalty or codependency.
Oh,
that's a good word.
That is good.
Yeah, that's how I was very codependent. Yeah.
What about Yvonne?
Yvonne, I would describe Yvonne as like very upfront, very plain spoken, like almost like in every woman, right? Like kind of I think she has the most real reflection of everything that's going on around her in the plot. And I also think that I'm trying to think of her in terms of Albert. I think there's some similarities between Albert and Yvonne in the sense that they're somewhat codependent in some level.
Right.
They're both looking for another person to kind of be loyal to or be dependent on. They're kind of like two sides of a coin.
Yeah. No, I like that. They clearly both care about each other.
Yeah.
I think both of those characters, Yvonne and Albert, they just have a crappy way of showing it.
That's a nice way to say it. Yes.
All right, Mariette and Claude. How would you describe Claude?
Emotionally immature.
Yes.
Oh, highly, yes.
Yeah, like it's not even his arrogance. It's just like he's just emotionally immature. Like I actually think they really would have worked if he had just found emotional maturity.
I feel like they
people
act more like siblings than a couple.
People can only meet you as far as they've met themselves, and it just seems like Claude just hasn't met himself that far.
Yeah.
It's either he hasn't met himself or he's afraid to.
Oh,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I can see that because I do feel like he's cowardly.
Yes. And which is why he pokes a lot of fun at
Yeah.
Mariette. Yeah. I see him acting like a brother instead of like a partner.
Mm.
Like that insecure little brother.
I just think the worst kind of people are the people who can't be happy for others. And
Especially when they're insecure about
and
not.
especially when it's your partner.
Yeah.
Like of anybody, you should root the loudest for your partner.
Right.
And I mean, he couldn't.
Join us on December 4th at 6 p.m. at Hanley Library for a one-man version of A Christmas Carol, told by Josh Horn, directed by Catherine Naylor Milton. Tickets are free, but can be reserved at selahtheatreproject.org/page to stage. Want to celebrate the holidays a little differently this year? Why not come and join us for a Charlie Brown Christmas, opening on December 12th, closing December 21st. It's a half-an-hour stage adaptation of the original TV movie, the classic nostalgic Christmas story of Charlie Brown trying to discover the true meaning of Christmas with his friends Lucy, Linus, Snoopy, Woodstock, and the whole Peanuts gang. Join us on December 12th through December 21st at Stone Branch Center for the Arts. Tickets are available at selahtheatreproject.org/mainstage. Is definitely it's kind of like a mystery because no one knows who invited who. The couple slowly discover that they have all been invited, and it is interesting how the show ends. I don't think any of us really like how the show actually ends.
Yeah, I don't.
At least I
agree.
don't.
I don't either.
It's kind of anticlimactic.
Yes.
It's very,
Yes.
it very much is, and yeah, it's almost like there should have been an act 2, but it's only a one act. So it's very like
artistic interpretation.
it's very much come to your own conclusion kind of vibe. So it kind of starts off like this mystery. At one point when I was first reading it, I was like, is this like a murder mystery? Because it sounds like someone's gonna die in this thing. No one dies. But it is very mysterious, and I think Claude even says we're in a freaking Agatha Christie dinner or something. And then it just kind of it goes up. Each couple has their own private moment with each other, which I do like that.
Yes.
And then it just kind of drops at the end. But if you had to tell our podcast audience, our listeners out here, what was the cause of your divorce, in your own words? Your divorce of your characters.
I think Andre was wanting to grow up and kind of move on. Because, I mean, he wanted children. He wanted, he didn't want to live that hard.
He didn't want to live the life they were living.
Yeah, he didn't want to live the life they were living anymore.
Yeah, because they were still living like they were freshly in love and lustful and
Yeah.
But it didn't even. It was beyond lust.
It was beyond
became healthy.
Yeah, from what it sounded like.
Yeah, so he was ready to settle and grow old with someone.
Yeah, like you said, he wanted a wifely wife, kind of, Yeah, he wanted to settle. Yeah, he wanted to not have to live that wild lifestyle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. What about the other two couples?
I would think the cause of Yvonne and Albert's divorce was just an utter failure in being able to communicate honestly with one another.
It really is communication.
They just kind of could not connect on a deep enough level to sustain their marriages. But the funny thing is, I don't know if anybody else feels this, but I don't feel like it's at all over for them. I don't think they'll ever be married again, but I think they're completely codependent on one another. And I feel like the situation that was going on before the dinner is going to just continue going on after the dinner. I mean, or at least I think so.
I can see that.
Mm.
They need that for each other. Even though it's kind of toxic and unhealthy, it's kind of like, I'll feed you, you feed me, and we'll just keep moving through this life together.
Yeah.
What about Mariette and Claude?
I really think that the divorce was because she learned to love herself.
Mm.
And I think that she loves him, but she realized he couldn't give her the love that she deserved. The support of just having a partner. Like I don't even think she's asking that much, She was successful in having her partner be happy for her. And she couldn't even get that. So she wanted him to love her, but eventually she's like, man, I got to love myself more than allowing this to continue.
Right. I think there is anyone who's ever been in a relationship at all, ever in their adult life, will be able to see themselves at least a little bit. There was one rehearsal, I don't know if you guys remember this, where Claude has a line that Jacob Reed plays the role of Claude, and he says, what does he say, Desirae? He says something to the extent of, do you think we sit in a club where we all just go, hey, you remember when
this
there was
club?
more furniture in this
Yeah.
club? And he's talking about the concept of that Mariette basically took half of everything that he owned. And there was one rehearsal where I looked at Jacob
I
and Jacob
remember.
looked at me and we just busted out laughing because I am a divorcee as well. And Jacob Reed had just gone through a breakup and literally was left with no furniture. And so we all kind of and I remember moving into my townhouse with like a futon and 2 chairs. Like
Oof.
that's what I had. And so we kind of just looked at each other and had this moment of like, oh crap, we've been through that.
Well, yeah, and then Ryan said that she had taken, what was it? Took all the.
Well, she took both the crock pots. No, didn't even leave me one crock pot.
I was without a bed when my ex moved out. He took the bed, so I literally had no bed.
And then
Yeah, I had no bed.
my ex took all the blender motors, but left me the blender tops.
Yeah, that
Like
was the one,
all the Ninja like containers and stuff
but
like
not
that,
the
but
actual.
not the actual motors to blend them.
Yeah, and I think Reed said that the Christmas tree was taken. It was a lot. And we just had
We
this,
we
like,
all
we
connected.
all just connected at that moment. And we had like 10 minutes of just pure laughter of describing all the things. You know that saying, you have to laugh through your pain
Oh
sometimes.
yes.
Yeah.
And it's just remembering, recalling how petty and insane it was to like look. I think about it now, it's been 7 years now, where I walked into my townhome with a futon and 2 chairs, and that is all I had. And to look at my townhouse now is filled with love and furniture and light and wonderful feelings. It's warm. And to look back on that, you just can't help yourself but laugh. And it reminded me that this is definitely that type of show where people who have ever been in a breakup or a divorce or any kind of relationship period, there's a level of pettiness that comes
Oh, yeah.
around. But
This touches all the moments in the relationship. The petty ones, like you said, the
yep,
heartfelt ones.
yep.
It brings us to those times, and I think there's been a couple of times where we've all, like you said, stopped and had a moment about talking about an ex. I mean, it's happened a few times now.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
and I
because
think
I mean,
any of the viewers that see it, they're going to remember relationships. I know it's going to bring them to, like you said, the
right,
highs and the lows of all the
right,
relationships brings.
right. And that's kind of the beauty, I think, of this script. It's very human. It's not too abstract, I think. I mean, they're in France, they're at La Cassette, a very fancy restaurant. Clearly, they're all well off. But it is still tangible almost, where you can pinpoint, ooh, that's me. Ooh, that's an ex. Ooh, I know somebody just like that. That it's still in your circle, you'll be able to pick up on. So I'm really excited for the laughter that we're about to experience and share next week when we
Oh man.
open. I'm also curious about you guys breaking on stage. I'll be excited to see that as
I do
well.
not want us to break.
No,
I'm like
we can
literally,
do
I don't want us to break, but I'm not confident that we won't.
It is going to happen, Desirae. It is. Listen, when those moments that come naturally when it's a comedic moment and you guys break on stage, those are probably the most beautiful moments for audience members, because they too are laughing, and for you to become human within your character and laugh with them, it is even more enjoyable. It's just like when you watch SNL and you watch one of the actors break while they're in the middle of doing a scene, you end up laughing more because they are breaking.
That's
It is
true.
it's one of those moments, and it's so
Actually, I'm glad we had this conversation because this brings me a little bit of comfort.
it's a beautiful moment between actors and audience, because now you're all really in on this journey together, and it's just fun. And I know it's gonna happen. I'm gonna put my bets on Jacob Reed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bet that me and Ryan, if we break, it's because of Martin.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh man.
Yeah. It'll be because of Martin.
We both think Martin is hilarious. We come
He's
home and we're just
freaking
like,
hilarious.
oh my gosh, remember that?
Yeah. I'll break because of Martin.
Yep.
Well, I'll go right back at you. Like I don't think I can even make eye contact with Desirae for more than like 4 seconds during any of our scenes together.
It's true.
Like I'll turn around and say a line to her. I literally have not gotten my line right when she comes on stage and I'm supposed to say something like, yes, you're at the Gerard party or something. It's some stupid line. I can't even say it when I turn around to her.
I know, it's so true that we haven't had a single practice where we haven't laughed. So, we will do our best to stay character, but it's just so funny.
I think in this climate that we're in right now, it is the perfect time to witness and experience joy and
Right.
laughter.
Yes.
And even though it's a show about divorcees, it's not awful. It
No.
is funny. It is eye-opening in some sense, as well as a moment to just breathe, to just not exist in this world that we're in right now,
Right.
and share a collective moment of witnessing these relationships build, break, rebuild, whatever it is, and have a moment to just be.
Sometimes you gotta say like.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Theater Talk. We hope to see you at the theater soon on our many roaming stages. So, until next time, bye-bye.